Breaking news. Trade war. China dismisses Trump tariffs as blackmail and warns do not underestimate us. China has defended its decision to target an additional $46 billion, $60 billion, worth of U.S. goods with tariffs and accused Washington of blackmail as the trade war between the world's two biggest economies shows no signs of slowing. Beijing yesterday revealed more than 5,200 American-made products would be slapped with new levies in response to a threat by Donald Trump's administration to impose additional duties on $200 billion of Chinese goods. China has now imposed or proposed tariffs on £85 billion, $110 billion, in U.S. goods. Last year, China imported some $100 billion, $130 billion, in goods from the United States. Beijing has insisted its measures are rational and warned the U.S. its tactics would not work. The latest tariffs come as the trade war continues to escalate and Mr. Trump attempts to force Xi Jinping's government to change its practices. But commentaries in Chinese state media signaled Beijing is not willing to back down. A piece in the Global Times, a tabloid run by the People's Daily, described the retaliatory measures as rational and insisted China will not rush to compete with U.S. numbers. Meanwhile, Chinese state TV said, the White House's extreme pressure and blackmail are already clear to the international community. Such methods of extreme blackmail will not bear fruit against China. A commentary in the official Xinhua news agency said, the United States has repeatedly resorted to threatening and deceitful routines, trying to force China to compromise, both overestimating its own bargaining power and underestimating China's determination and ability to defend its national dignity and the interests of its people. But Secretary of State Mike Pompeo remained steadfast on Washington's push for fairer trading conditions. He said, President Trump inherited an unfair trade regime where American workers and American companies were not treated reciprocally or fairly by the Chinese, and the efforts of the Trump administration are to right that, to correct that. China and new tariffs would see 5,207 U.S.-made products taxed at rates of 25, 20, 10 or 5%. Goods impacted by the highest bracket include wine, leather and liquefied natural gas. This latest move comes after it emerged that Donald Trump's administration is considering hitting $154 billion, $200 billion, of Chinese imports with additional levies. The two countries have already imposed $26 billion, $34 billion, worth of tariffs on each other's goods as the trade war ramped up in July. Washington has announced a further $12 billion, $16 billion, of Chinese products will be targeted in the coming weeks. Beijing says it will match any additional duties immediately. One of Mr. Trump's top economic advisors said the U.S. leader has no intention of backing down. Speaking to Bloomberg TV yesterday, National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow said, we've said many times, no tariffs, no tariff barriers, no subsidies. We want to see trade reforms. China is not delivering, okay? Their economy's weak, their currency is weak, people are leaving the country. Don't underestimate President Trump's determination to follow through.